Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you might not have heard ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about tonight. And as the year slows down, I tend to focus because you're gonna see volume dry out. And I want to start focusing more on investing, things you can do in the next year to get you caught up to where maybe you need to be. There's not a lot that happens in the stock market, especially historically. There could be a Santa Claus rally. Well, that's talked about. Uh, but volume historically, just in December, we're gonna start drying this thing up. We got about 2 weeks left before this is a desert wasteland. So hopefully there's maybe some tax loss harvesting. There's people losing positions to counter some of the gains they might have already had. So we're going to talk about a little bit of that. But again, as we wrap up the year, that's kind of what I want to focus the comments, especially if you're on YouTube. The comments. I don't post a lot of shorts. That isn't the plan to come up. Shorts, especially because I can post those on TikTok as well. But comments down below, just more investing, trading, lesson type stuff. Because again, stock movement might not be as volatile. But XRP made a nice move. Shout out to everybody that took advantage of that. If you saw my previous videos, talk about why I bought XRP, that pump, not bad. It's not bad when you can almost just double your money. Let's see. As far as the dollar goes, let's jump into it. We'll cover the news after this. The dollar opened up a little bit green. We're pushing up a little bit, kind of bounced off this zone. Honestly, what I'm looking for is I want to short the dollar. I am short the dollar right now, by the way. I'm hoping we kind of just reject off the bottom of this purple zone. Then we can kind of rock this thing down. I am short the US dollar, Japanese yen. I have not added onto this yet, but man, do I want to. I think it's probably a little oversold. It's probably going to pop up, hopefully somewhere right around this old support level right here. In fact, I'm just going to put a short order in there just before I forget. Give me 1 second. I'm going to just short right there. So that's about 1515. All right. 151486 is my short. Close enough. So if it pops up there, it'll tag me and go short. Hopefully it tags that and then just goes to zero. That would be phenomenal. All right. As far as Bitcoin goes, how annoying is it that it hasn't hit 100,000? Is anybody else just absolutely annoyed at that? Like we're just hanging out. We went to 99.8 or something. Yeah, something dumb like that. Just enough to not call it 100,000. Never touch six figures. Appreciate that. Anyway, we are kind of just building this up. I know there's some sell orders there, but overall, still trucking, still making the higher lows. We'll keep an eye on this trend right here. Let's just put that at the 100K mark. Hang on, let's put this line right at. We're going to keep it intact. All right, so by Wednesday the 18th, maybe even Thursday the 19th, we finally break this thing up and go out. More than likely than so. As we do chart this out real quick, let's go right there. So when you see a pattern like this, there's sellers right here. Buyers they're kind of buying the dip. This is basic technical analysis, right? Now I just kind of know there's some sell orders up there. More often than not, it's the flat line that breaks. But just think every time we hit this, it's like I call this a hammer on glass. If you guys haven't ever heard me say that, just take a hammer and beat a piece of glass. Eventually one of them is going to break. It's going to be around the end of this point. Either you find out that glass is bulletproof, or it's not, and we just shatter it and kind of go right through. But when I draw out this pattern like this, more often than not, it's the flat line that breaks. It can be the same thing coming from the top side down. So we will kind of have to keep an eye on that. I'm very curious what happens to the altcoins after Bitcoin gets 100,000. I do think some altcoins are probably going to see some hype. And I will say, not to be a Debbie Downer, but if you're going to make it in this, the plan isn't how much you can make, it's how much you can keep. And you need to be living on like the defensive side of things. So if you're in Doge, you're in, I see on TikTok someone says Litecoin is finally rising after years. Litecoin, I was like the champion of Litecoin. It just never went anywhere. Uh, they're going up, but is that their final breath? Not to be a downer, but if Bitcoin sells off, the altcoins are going to get smoked. So as they pump up, start thinking about, hey, should I be selling into this strength? And it's not an all in, all out scenario because things can keep going. And the last thing you want to do is you just sell all of it. This is the top. You sell all of it and it continues because one is going to make sure you never sell again. And the next time you should have sold and it's just going to sell off. You're going to lose everything. Or you get emotional and you buy back in what's going to be the next peak. So knock out half, just knock out a chunk, break it into threes. That's what I would be thinking about because selling into strength, you could just market order, it'll fill, you're on to the next one. Selling when it's selling off, trying to sell, it's a ghost town. You're trying to pawn it off into anybody like, hey, please take my coins, please try this, and hopefully you find a buyer. Did I say if it sells off? Oh, you mean win? Yes. Okay. So YouTube says if it sells off, you mean win. Yes. Things ebb and flow. They come up, they come down. The downside with these altcoins is some might not ever come back. Now, when Bitcoin sells off, everybody says, "Oh, Bitcoin's dead." We've heard that a million times, and then it just comes back. Unfortunately, not all the altcoins have. Middle class investing. What's happening, man? He says, "Yes, it is too late to buy XRP." Oh, someone asks, is it too late? I didn't add on. I bought mine, and then that's that. I like it. I do have an XRP video just dedicated to that on YouTube on Don Fran Show, talking about why I bought it, what it does. So if you guys on TikTok or just Don Fran Trading want to check that out, that is on the YouTube side of things. How long will I be holding XRP for? I know you mentioned you'll be holding Bitcoin for a very long time. Is XRP also on this timeline? XRP, I wanted to hold. I really did. And there is some that I will hold probably just as long as Bitcoin. But with its pump and just me being up as much as I am, I will probably sell half. I might just sell half and lock it in because let's just pull up XRP real quick because it's not going to sit this one out either. You know, when things pull back. Now I bought back here and I want to say I added some, up here. And so we've absolutely just sent it. Right now it's at 231. Banging. Gosh, I kind of want to just sell almost right now. It's just at a peak, and I think this will have a corrective phase where we'll get that leg down and pull back. And you really can't judge this bull trend until some bears do show up. Like right here, we didn't know what was going on until the bear showed up. Now, right here, the bear showed up and it went nowhere. And I'll really zoom in so everyone can see if you're on your phone. So judging the bulls by the bears, again, just to restart that, here's the bulls. Okay, like, all right, you got to buy some kind of dip, some kind of pullback. We kind of went nowhere. We're seeing the game of tug of war going back and forth. Now you can judge it. There's not a scene that there's some profit taking maybe, but that's all it was. Buyers still picking this thing up. Now nobody's selling. It sits back up here. This is not a bunch of buyers. It's actually, in fact, a lack of sellers, which sends it this high. And maybe we can just stair step this thing up to $1 million. Sky's the limit. But I just say you got to make the best decision at the time with the data that you have. You can't be upset. If I sell right now and this thing goes to $10, yes, it would suck. If I sell half right now, and I meant half in general, right? If I sell half right now and it goes back down to $1, so what? Who cares? The only thing I've done is lock in profit. Everything else is unrealized, and you kind of just go from there. So I wouldn't FOMO into this. I would make sure you have a plan because the last thing you want to do is buy my coins that I'm selling. Historically, if you've been following me for a while, buying the things that I sell hasn't been the best deal unless it's Palantir. If you bought my Palantir shares, just know that I hate you to your core. That's all. Nothing personal. Just kidding. Selling Palantir at 4. I sold a good chunk at 40 and just watching that thing continue to climb. I thought I was just going to ninja snipe the top. Nope. Not even close. This thing is crazy overvalued and leveraged futures are driving the price. Send it. Hey, as long as it's paying me, I don't mind. All right, someone said Doge just running too. Let's just check out some coins real quick while we are on the topic. Doge is starting to break up. There you go. doesn't really have the legs, but it's good job. It's getting somewhere. Um, Shout out to all you Doge holders. Look at you guys just getting rich not overnight, or over the last year. I'm just kidding. 100% just kidding. Breaking up, you do want to see, you're really going to want Doge to get past this level. Once it does, I think that point we might get rock and rolling. At least we'll have some hype with it. And that's kind of where all we know where some sellers are. So 45, 47 cents, getting above that would be a great sign. So much easier to trade looking back at the candles. It is. You talking about Palantir? Yeah, I wish I would have held that thing. But 40 just felt high. It was way up there. Sam says, XRP. This is what sucks about TikTok. You just can't rewind it and listen to the fact that I literally just broke down XRP. For everyone on TikTok, and my admin tries to remind everybody, you can go to the YouTube side and watch it because I actually do break down. TikTok comments just keep rolling, and a bunch of people do come in, but they just miss everything. So this is on the YouTube side where you can rewind things if there's something you really want to get a hold of. All right. I think that's it on the hype coins. Let's check out the S&P. All right, futures opened up. Technically, that's a gap up right now. Futures are red. I should have put that in the thumbnail because, man, anytime I say futures open red, stocks are selling off, people panic, they flood in. What do we do? For a Sunday open, I'd say it's actually we've seen red that looks like this specific candle right here, red and green, and a lot of Sunday opens are about like that. Volume next to nothing, almost no movement. So that is, I don't want to say I need some better words. Just need a bigger vocabulary, It's not a significant red candle, but significantly bigger than some really normal weeks. Does that make sense? Yeah, I don't know. Nothing I'm taking as like a warning sign or anything like that. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Just probably more movement than I thought we would see in a December. He says, or shall I say, congrats, NASDAQ. Congrats on the 30,000 subs. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. Oh, NASDAQ. Are we finally gonna get above this range? We've been in this range. Here's the daily range right here. And if we close below this, I'm going to be so annoyed. Getting up and coming right back down is the same thing as a wick. But we really need to get above this range. That would signal that we're going higher. But if you look just at the candles in general, anytime you guys see these two red lines like this on my charts, it's because there's one candle and we've just been inside that whole time. So one red day, and you either bought the dip, or if you bought right here and bag held, you're just now at break even after how many trading sessions? So hopefully we're on the up and up for that. As far as the Dow goes, Dow's just trucking along. Man, Grandpa Dow really trying to change his name over here. Added NVIDIA, wanted to get in with the young ones. I would just have to remain bullish as far as this goes. So as far as this, I mean, we ran this thing up and then stayed sideways right here. Really kind of based out, starting to work our way up from that too. If this were to sell off, yeah, we would have to watch out for this gap right here. That is a yellow zone. Give me one hot second. All right. All right. So if that were to pull back, that would be the dip buy, I think, for the Dow. The ES will be green by tomorrow afternoon. Seems like it sells off in the mornings and fights back the rest of the day to finish green. So annoying. We have seen a lot of just that annoying, like, I know we're on the daily candle, but if you just take most of your charts to a 15-minute candle, this is what it looks like. Sells off everywhere. It's red, panic, and then we just V-shape recover that thing consistently. NASDAQ ETF. Give it a couple of years, y'all. NSDY. Would that be the ticker? NSDY. It's not a ticker right now, but it could be. Could be my own ETF. What do you guys think?